Yeah, so Marcos Gonzalez Harsham with the Department of Energy's Office of Technology Transitions. I'm excited to be here. We are very focused on partnerships and outreach with industry, a lot of those folks here today. And I would say that the department is quite unique in this population here. You might not even believe me, but we actually are the owners of 4 of the 10 fastest supercomputers in the world, including D2 fastest. We have probably the largest R&D budget, $15 billion a year plus, going into our national lab system, and that's a steady stream year after year. And what we are here trying to do is better understand how we can deploy that capital, deploy that research funding in a way that is beneficial, not just for the core research mission of the department, but also for industry, for the industry base of America and for the benefit of the world.
I'm Steve Eglash. I'm Director of the Applied Energy Division at SLAC National Accelerator Laboratory. SLAC is part of that national laboratory ecosystem that Marcos was just talking about. We're part of the DOE ecosystem. We're also managed by and part of Stanford University.
So the collaboration actually has a rich history. The National Lab System began and is an outgrowth of the Manhattan Project days. We weren't at 17 national labs then, but we are now. But the idea was, let's take these national labs and the thousands of scientists and researchers that are sprawled across the country at these hubs of research and repurpose the mission to one of more basic science and discovery science.
The national labs are conducting a wide range of research and development in topics aligned with the DOE mission, things related to energy, things related to national security. But there's always the question of how can you make sure that the results of that research and development, that those innovations get out of the labs to impact society in the most important and significant ways. And that's where Marcos's Office of Technology Transitions comes in. Those of us doing research at the national labs work closely with Marcos and his colleagues in OTT to make sure that real-world applications inform the research agenda and that the innovations coming out of DOE-sponsored research can get connected with companies and others that can commercialize those innovations.
So the department is definitely focusing in a big way on artificial intelligence and quantum and related technologies. We have this very rich research base, which I touched on before, the 17 national labs, and one thing what they're trying to do is AI being an enabling technology, a platform technology, if you will, is ensure that throughout our research missions, throughout the various funding lines and programs that we have at the department, we are incorporating AI into how we do our own research, how we pursue our missions. And one of the ways we're trying to do that is we've recently announced the establishment, the creation of a new AI technology office. It is essentially performing a coordinating function, AI again being a relevant tool for any of the mission spaces we have, but one central office connecting and ensuring best practices and shared data sets and access to a lot of the same hardware and software and algorithms and solutions are all being coordinated and facilitated through this central office. And we hope that the labs are beneficiaries of that, and we certainly feel that at the headquarters level we are planning and deploying our capital, our research funding in a more efficient and intelligent way based on that technology.
At SLAC, AI and other digital technologies are an integral part of everything we do. We do a lot of big experiments that produce huge amounts of data, and so AI, machine learning, Internet of Things, data science are important parts of analyzing that data. We do a lot of work on materials and chemistry and chemical engineering. AI is increasingly part of how we discover new materials and new chemical processes. And work on systems like the electric grid are inherently about AI because these large interconnected digital systems use AI for controls, and they use AI for cybersecurity and for authentication and all kinds of things. But in addition to AI being a pervasive part of all of those areas of science and research at SLAC, we also do research specifically on AI, and we have focused groups in AI and computer science that are specifically driving the development of those technologies.
Well, from the departmental perspective, we are out here trying to gather information on how we can do our mission better, essentially. Again, we have this research base, and we are pursuing research, we are publishing papers. All that is wonderful, all that is excellent. It's a good use of taxpayer funding, we believe. But can we do something more with what we're producing, with the researchers we have, with the hardware, the software, the facilities and capabilities and expertise that the department and its national labs have? And to seed that thinking and convert basic research into industry solutions, we need help from industry. We need that voice, that input into how we make research decisions, into how we frame programs, into how do we make our investments in new facilities and capabilities. And one of the things we're trying to do is gather those ideas, and we are actually pursuing similar conversations to those having here in other fora. We have an upcoming X-Lab Summit, and this is an opportunity to bring researchers and industry together for a dialogue on how we can make this research more informative to and beneficial to research to industry partners. So folks like Steve here and others and other top researchers like him are pulled together to have these sorts of conversations and hopefully seed partnerships that benefit industries of the future.
That role to provide guidance and act as a convening authority is one of the important things that the Department of Energy can do. Marcos just mentioned this so-called X-Lab Summit on AI. But the DOE can do a lot of things like that. The DOE also convenes groups of leading thinkers to do what they call basic research needs in particular areas. They can do a basic research needs in energy or in manufacturing or in AI, where they try to create a technology and scientific roadmap and a set of research mandates to help map out the future. So in addition to being a great resource to fund science and research and development, they can also provide strategic leadership to help all of us think about where we're going and make sure we get there.